Is there anything wrong during a dispute between a husband and a wife for the husband to say to his wife, you have to obey me, Allah has commanded you to obey me?
AlMaghrib Institute presents Q&A with Sheikh Abu Eesa Niamatullah.
How can anyone actually say it's wrong for someone to quote Quran and Sunnah? But there's a very important thing I want you to focus on. And I've said it before and people don't understand this, and I think I'll take the opportunity now to explain it. When people start quoting Quran and Sunnah, this is my quote. When spouses start quoting Quran and Sunnah on one another, that marriage is on the rocks. We're in a dangerous zone, crisis zone. You see, as I said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down this book and He sent His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to help us and guide us, and we should always be quoted and always be in the foremost of our thoughts and our practices. And we all need reminders. We all need to ensure that we're on top of the game. But relationships are still based upon good old generic values that don't always need the Kitab and Sunnah, the book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ to regulate it. Marriages are relationships of love and sacrifice and give and take. And if you are in a scenario where you feel that you need to quote the law and get your rights or get what you want by a threat of the law of punishment in the hereafter and so on, we have come so far down the hill. We're in free fall. It's not even at the top where we're just tripping and sliding and falling over. We're at the bottom. Because if I want some tea from my wife, I should expect to say, hey honey, can you bring me a cup of tea? And that would be the end of it. If she is saying, why do you do this? Why'd you do that? Blah, 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 blah. Is the answer for me to say, because Allah commanded you to bring the tea? Or for me to actually think, why have I upset her so much? What have I done to my wife, my deficiency, that she was not even happy out of just a love relationship to be able to go and give me the tea? Like my wife, for example, technically, the hadith exists that a woman's not to be leaving the home without her husband's permission, etc. And she comes to me thinking that every single time that I'm going to ask if I can go out, I don't want her to do that. And she should never have to feel to do that, except if she is in a unstable, insecure state, because she knows the relationship has become so weak between us and the level of trust has broken down to such a level that she feels she has to ask. And instead, what it should be is that she knows that I intrinsically trust her, and there is no reason that I should not let her go, even though, of course, technically speaking, she needs my permission, but she has my permission. She doesn't need to quote the Quran and Sunnah. But if she does, that's because she doesn't feel that the relationship is right. And you also don't feel that the relationship is right. So I just want to say that in Protect This House, my class on these issues, we do go into the causes for conflict and problems between spouses, and the kind of viewpoint to hold when you're suffering and struggling, and the marriage is not a short-term issue. It's the long game, and to play the long game you need certain qualities, a certain level of stamina, which is religiously guided, but ultimately deals with the core of your own heart. And we're going to look at that as well, inshallah. But I hope that you understand the message that I'm giving you. Please try to understand that relationships are successful because of human qualities to one another. Sacrifice, giving and taking. The Quran and Sunnah should not be used unless it's absolutely necessary, because that's a legal process that we don't even want to be talking about right now.